Good morning, and thank you for joining us here on CTV. CTV is a student-led television news broadcast produced right here at Choffin Career and Technical Center. Every week, we will bring you the latest news stories and updates from around the building, as well as a special look into the programs and students that make up the Choffin family. It's no secret that coronavirus has been on the top of everyone's mind for the last year and a half. COVID has repeatedly killed 21,000 people across the nation with 643 deaths right here in the Mahoney County. Mahoney County. And statistics show cases are on the rise again, leaving many wondering what's going to happen to the school sporting events and things like homecoming. The Youngstown City School District sent out an all call to parents this weekend with some updates on how staff are working to keep students safe. Chief Executive Officer Justin Jennings joined us in the studio with the latest on the state of the coronavirus in our district.
Last week we were at about 90 cases between students and staff members, and yesterday we kind of had a huge influx of about 15. So a lot of our cases have just been, we've had more students, but more quarantined than cases just because of that exposure. And we kind of found out that it's mostly during lunchtime, so we have to figure out how we can do lunch in which we don't have so many people in the same place at the same time.
How are you handling all of the stress? Instead of saying rising COVID cases, we'll say rising of quarantine.
We expect it, but we just need to make sure that everybody has their mask on. That's just a deterrent. And I know, I'm not comfortable having this thing going all the time. So I know it's hard for students, especially our younger students who are not used to it and they take it off. But it's really important for us to help stop the spread. And that's the reason why lunchtime is such a big time, because you're taking it off in order to eat. So we just want to make sure that everybody has their mask on and they're safe. Because our goal is for us to stay in school and not go back remote. But if the cases keep rising, that's something we'll definitely have to consider. The year's been fine. We know what we have to do. We're set up where we can start doing cohort testing. So about 2 weeks ago, we sent out opt-out forms in order for families who don't want their children to be tested to opt out. So I kind of explained that in my Sunday call, that if you do want your scholars to be tested, then don't send the form back. But if you don't want them to be tested, then sign the form and send it back. That way we can start kind of doing our cohort testing and figure out how we can stop the spread.
Do you think at some point that getting tested would have to be mandatory?
You know what, that's a tough one to do, because in my mind, I don't have a right to tell people what to do with their body. And so that's a difficult part for me. I know there's some people like, yeah, everybody needs to be tested, but we may get to a point where if we want to be in school, that may be something that we have to do. And we're even thinking about for athletics for next year. Like these next 2 weeks, we pretty much won't have any sports because every single one of our sports are all quarantined. So we are thinking about next semester in order for you to play athletics, do esports or anything like that, in which you're in close proximity, that you have to be vaccinated in order to do it. And I know people won't like it, but if people want to play sports and they don't want to miss out on their senior year, that's something we may have to look at doing. But as far as teaching and learning goes, there's some lesson learned that we have. So if we do go back remote, our classes will mirror your classes as in person. So you won't be going into a classroom with 100 different people. So that way you'll have your kind of one-on-one time like you would in a regular classroom, to make it a lot easier. And we learned from there, because the first time we went through this, of course we had computers and we made sure that everybody had internet access, but we never got a chance to practice, So that was the difficult part. And really having teachers who were ready and everybody who's ready, that was a difficult part. We didn't have that time to go over, because kind of like being an athlete or being an ROTC, talking about it and planning for it and actually going into action is two different things. Do I think homecoming will happen? You know what? I'm more focused on prom right now. Homecoming is going to be very difficult unless you guys are going to line dance 6 feet apart because of the spread so often. And if we do something like that, it's going to have to be, you have to be vaccinated in order to do it. And I don't think that's going to be something that people want to do. We do have plans for safety during prom, and that's something that we're going to work on, even if we have to do it outdoors. So that's something that we thought about, just doing prom outdoors, down at the amphitheater, and just doing like a school district prom instead of 2 separate proms. I know that's not what people want, but if we could have that space, I think it will be a lot better with our social distance. Hopefully by that time, we've convinced a lot of parents to vaccinate their children. So when we offered vaccinations before, we only had about 4 or 5 students in the whole district who were of age who took us up on it. So that's something important as well. It really will depend on what the COVID situation looks like. Because we don't want prom to be a super spreader as well. Because now you have prom, and then you may eliminate people from walking across the stage for graduation. And we want to do a graduation together this year. We don't want to do it like we've done it in the past. So our goal is to kind of get back to normalcy as quickly as we can. No, I just thank you for inviting me and helping me spread the news and share the story. I know that often I don't get in a class where I can talk to and interact as much as I want to, but now people can see that I'm human and real, and you know, we're really considering your feelings, but your future as well. Like I said, we had two school classes, senior classes, who didn't get prom, some who didn't even get their, you know, boards, who didn't get homecoming. We really want to, if we can get everybody to wear their mask, and hopefully get vaccinated or at least be tested often, then that can help us get back to normalcy as quick as possible, which is what we want to do.
Thanks, Selena and Khalees. Students and parents are asked to submit a request for technology form just in case we do end up returning to remote learning. That form can be found on the district website. Interim grade reports will be sent home this week. Reminder, there is no school for students this Friday, October 8th, for the Northeast Ohio Education Association Day. Meanwhile, the film and photography program is asking for donations for photo props and tools. A full list of what they need can be found in room 222. Speaking of photography, take a peek at these shots our photography program snagged of classes and students around the building from last week. Here at Choffin, we choose a program every week to be spotlighted, so let's cut to Levi Williams for this week's spotlight.
Thanks, Eric. Speaking of cut, for this week's program spotlight, I'm going into Ms. Verducci's senior cosmetology class.
My program prepares you for the real world. It helps you get ready. It helps your hair, skin, nails. We give you every aspect so you're a professional and how to dress and help keep up with the latest trends.
I chose cosmetology because I want to learn how to do hair, and when I graduate, I want to have my own salon.
In here, it's a good life skill for life, and it helps you get better at your communication skills. And you talk, you can more move around, and the teachers are really great. They help you with what you need. They don't get frustrated, and they will keep helping you until you understand it.
Every week here at CTV, we're also going to celebrate one student of the week. The student of the week this week is senior entrepreneurship student Aaliyah May. She was nominated for being well-rounded, a strong leader, and easy to get along with. Congratulations and keep it up, Aaliyah. Every week we will have a poll for you guys to answer. This week it's about a bus. Which way is it going? Find out next week to see if you're correct. If you need a laugh, Mr. Ray Consier, the assistant principal, has a joke of the week.
Am I on? Mm-hmm. Is this thing on? Are you out there? I got a joke for you. Ready? How do you follow Will Smith in the snow?
I don't know.
You follow the Fresh Prince.
This week, Cheney plays Howland on Friday night in Cheney's homecoming game. Ursuline plays Friday against Boardman. Unfortunately, East is out for quarantine. That's it for today, folks. Tune in next week for the newest showing of CTV, where we will get a taste of what's cooking in the culinary program. I'm Eric Brady. Until next time.